Last summer, I did the first season of my series, and then I started on
your series is Rings?
Rings,
okay.
Yes. And so that had 8 episodes, and then from there, I've done 4 short films.
Hi, and welcome to Kelly, where we talk about life, your life and my life, and through Kelly, we hope to inspire. I have Jordan-Paige Sudduth on the show today, and that was a mouthful.
That is a mouthful.
It's getting the name out that is like, Jordan is a teenage filmmaker, and this is you hold interest to me because I work with teens and with kids, and I love to see young people creating. I think that it just adds so much value to your life and to your adulthood. So let's talk about how you got into filmmaking and how this. Because this is pretty interesting. You had to have been introduced somewhere.
It was I think 2 years back now. I was got an idea for a story, and I've loved writing like ever since I was like really young, elementary school. So I got this story idea, and I was like, you know what, let's write this down. So I wrote it down in a normal story format. And I mean, I'm an actress too, so I've been acting since like 4th grade. So I'd loved, the film and television area of that too. And so I was like, you know what, let's do a screenplay of this. But at first I was like, I don't know how to do this myself. So why don't I try to find like a company or something that would be willing to do this story? And that lasted about 2 days, and then I said, never mind, forget it, I'm gonna do it, because I was impatient, and So from there, I found a free screenwriting program, started, screenwrote the whole thing, and that was like around like November. Started casting in like January, went through about March.
And what year was this?
2015, I believe, because I was 14.
Okay.
And then just kind of went from there. That summer we filmed it. I figured out I loved it, so I was like, we're gonna keep going. So yeah, that's just how. I mean, it wasn't anyone who specifically was like, hey, have you thought about this, or hey, let's.
But you were connected through acting.
Exactly. I went to Creative Studios of Atlanta, and so through there, that was my first introduction to film and television. And so at the end of that 9-month program, you get to do a scene with a scene partner with like a professional crew and things like that, and then you have a showing of it, and it's a red carpet premiere and all that stuff, and you get to see your work that you did. And so, I mean, I'm in love with acting as well, and so through there, being on set, I got to see how exactly, everything was going, and so I'd say that was my introduction to it.
Okay, nice. And your first project was called?
Cracked. It was a feature film, runs an hour and 17 minutes. And that was the first project I ever did. I can't speak. That was the first project I ever did, and that was that summer. And then the next project, I did a short PSA film for like a contest at school that I actually never heard anything back from. So I was like, well, and that was like December. And then I got back into it, and last summer I did the first season of my series. And then I started on
your series is Rings?
Rings, okay. Yes. And so that had 8 episodes, and then from there I've done 4 short films, and now I'm casting for the 2nd season of my series. Okay.
And you said, I know that some of my students were in your in your first project, which is kind of cool. It's a small world. Everybody's connected in some way. And that was really good for the students that were in it. It was really good because with with actors, they just need to be on set.
Oh yeah.
So
for sure.
Yeah. So for some of those guys, it was their first thing. You gave them their first experience in an independent format. You have a database where you collect.
I do. Yeah.
So if somebody wants to be a part of your database when you're casting, how do they go about that?
They can email me. I allow any ages, all ages, anyone's allowed to, even if they're just starting out, if they're experienced. So they can just email me at my email, jordy5@comcast.net, which is JORDI, the number 5 at comcast.net. Just their headshot and resume if they have it, or just a recent picture of themselves. And if they have a resume, great. If they don't, I just need your email really, and we're good to go. So they can just email me that. I'll add them into the database, and we're all set to go.
Nice. I have for you Snickers.
I love pretty much anything.
What'd you get? Jelly beans or Snickers?
I said Milky Ways.
Milky Ways, yes. Look. Oh, magic. Wait. Milky Ways.
Thank you so much. That is so cute. Oh my gosh. I love that.
I just did a magic trick. Jordan, that's to remind you that you are a gift in life, and the more you create, the more that people have something to gravitate towards. And it's so important for our environments. And I really like to stress this upon young people, because you are our future. And I have kids that are your age. That's going to make me emotional. I have kids your age, and you know, you guys are at a very vulnerable crossroads where you can take one path or you can take another path. And I think the more that your age group is involved in something that is creative, the less likely they are to get involved in things that are unhealthy and that are going to affect their adult world and going to infect our environments. So thank you.
Thank you. This is like wild to be here. I've been like, you sent me a message and I was like, wait, really? I was like, this is actually happening right now. So I'm like freaking out inside, trying not to show it.
Good. I like people who freak out. Yeah, we want to follow you and see where you end up. You know, as you know, with your project Cracked, you learn lessons every time you make something new.
For sure.
And you know, you own those lessons, and you can only get better.
Yes, you can. Yeah, I mean, baby steps, but
yeah,
making the way.
Yeah, and you're a teenager. You're working on a very, very probably no budget.
Yeah, like nothing. It's like what I have a part-time job. It's basically what's in my savings account. But,
right,
I mean,
and you invested into your filmmaking.
Yeah, and then my parents are super supportive too. So they're like, yeah, you know, let's go out and, you know, find stuff. Like for Crack, there was a Christmas scene. So we like get these Christmas ornaments in the middle of July, and we're like, perfect. Yeah, so I mean, but it's worked. It's worked. It may not be the most high quality thing in the world, but we always have a great time on set, and it puts me more thing on my resume and more getting me closer to where I want to eventually be. So.
And you're so young, so I can't wait to see what you know, by the time you're 30, I'm wanting to see big things. So to give some advice to somebody who just wants to try something new, what would you say?
I would say that definitely if it's difficult, then that's good. If it's easy, then still go for it. But if it's difficult, that's even more motivation to keep going. So if it's not filmmaking, it's cheesy as all get out, but just keep doing it, because eventually once you do it, you're going to look back. And as you said, you learn from everything you do. So you're going to look back and be like, wow, I now know how to do it better next time. Or I know, you know, it's always a learning experience, and those are the most valuable things ever. Yeah. And like the entire history of the world to me. And so really just not to quote the meme, but just do it, please. just go for it, and it'll work out, and it'll be worth it.
Yeah, and where it falls, it falls.
Yeah, exactly.
You just let it hit. So thank you so much for being on the show.
Thank you.
I hope that this inspires other teenagers out there to, you know, pick up a camera.
Yes.
You guys live in such... I've said this about 5 times on the show, and I might say it a billion more, but this is to the youth directly. You live in the most brilliant time of all history, and it saddens me to see all the things that are going on in the world, because it shouldn't be. You guys have the best technology, you have the best medicines, people are living longer than they've ever lived in their whole life, and all you have to change is your behaviors.
Exactly. Thank you.
Yeah.
I look around at like people my age, and I'm like, what?
Yeah.
I'm ashamed a bit.
Yeah.
And then there's other times I look around and I'm like, yes. I'm like, that's that, you know, working towards your future, or even just, you know, being happy at your age rather than being like, oh, I'm going to be a rebel and I'm going to go do.
Yeah.
No.
And it's a mindset. It's a mindset of putting back into your environment.
Yeah.
You can be whoever you want to be. You just have to gain influence and you have to make it happen. And you're doing that. So congratulations.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
Guys, thank you so much for being here on Kelly. We hope this segment inspired and educated you. Please leave a comment down below and cheer Jordan on.
Oh no.
Yes, yes. Thank you.